5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. My Little Pony: A Zephyr Heights Mystery may be the biggest disappointment in recent memory, and that's a shame because all seems well at first blush. It was developed by Drakkar Studios, a game developer very experienced with similar 3D platformers, and it was published by Outright Games, who also published this game's excellent predecessor, Maritime Bay Adventure. Unfortunately, Zephyr Heights Mystery is just a massive mess. It's falling apart at the seams and barely functional. I hate to run down a list of the technical and presentational issues, but that's the most efficient and honest way to do this, so here we go. The game has poor texture quality, improper animation looping, egregious pop-in, inconsistent frame rate and hitching, an incredibly glitchy camera, shrill sound effects, and forgettable generic background music. Basically, everything looks and sounds ugly because there's no attention to detail. Unfortunately, the same can be said of the game in general. The characters all have arbitrary abilities, like for some reason Hitch can smash stuff up, even though that's probably the least Hitch thing imaginable. Sunny can grow plants using Earth Pony magic, but Hitch somehow can't. And now Pip and Zip can summon cloud platforms from the ether. That's certainly not something they can do in the shows. Lastly, Misty has, and I quote, empathy magic, but her empathy magic just involves running up to someone and giggling at them, then they instantly feel better. So yeah, there's a vast variety of mechanics, but all of them are one-note, trivial, confusing wastes of time. The exploring and platforming is also tired, bland, and comically repetitive. You enter a new area, some pony gives you a fetch quest to do, and then collectibles are scattered about in arbitrary locations for you to grab. You do this over and over and over until the game ends several hours later. It's all lacking in heart, personality, or polish. And this lack of polish can be attributed to one clear source. They wanted desperately to put more stuff in the game. There was only so much budget, and all the time and money clearly went into making the game longer, giving the player more meaningless chores to do, more ugly locations to visit, and more barely functional mechanics. Before anyone says I'm expecting too much of this licensed MLP game for children, I'd like to point out, Maritime Bay Adventure did all of this better. It had higher texture quality, better animations, more unique music, softer sound effects, a consistent, reliable camera, practically no pop-in, the things you repair stayed repaired, and all of its mechanics and minigames made sense in context. More than that, the minigames were fun and well designed. Remember the bunny herding minigame, the flying minigame, the dance minigame, the obstacle course minigame, the rollerblading minigame? Well, Zephyr Heights Mystery reuses all of those, but they're all worse. The herding minigame has its hazards removed, the dance minigame and flying minigame are missing most of their visual effects, the obstacle courses now have less creative designs, and in the rollerblading minigame, they removed the rollerblades. And yes, the game still calls it rollerblading anyway. Again, Zephyr Heights Mystery is the epitome of quantity over quality, and Maritime Bay Adventure is the epitome of quality over quantity. It's probably sufficient to leave things there, but no, I'm not done. I spent $40 on this, and I have more to say about Zephyr Heights Mystery. Like, why did they make Hitch cower behind Sunny during a stampede? He's supposed to be brave, kind, and protective. What's with the obsession with pumpkins? Multiple times, pumpkins teleport you suddenly into a flashback, seemingly with no relevance to the ongoing story. How come every time I leave and re-enter an area, all the things I repaired are broken again? Why are the load times so darned long in a game this ugly? And lastly, how come during two-player co-op, only one of the players can perform an action at a time, leaving the other suspended in the air? That's not co-op, that's un-co-op, that's anti-co-op. We're not cooperating at all at that point, we're just taking turns being miserable. Oh, and there was a part where the game straight up soft-locked and required a full reload for the objectives to function properly. I was incredibly excited to play Zephyr Heights Mystery. I bought it minute one, and I couldn't wait to explore it. But it's missing the most crucial aspect of its predecessor, the craftsmanship. I've replayed Maritime Bay Adventure over a dozen times, even though it's only 90 minutes long, because it's just that well made. Children need games which are high quality and respectful to their growing minds, not farcical flotsam which actively diminishes their intelligence. What a huge shame.